Hey, my friends, welcome to the Rainbow Rev Show. I am your host, Rainbow Rev, and we are talking about homosexuality 101, and class is in session, baby. So, why are we talking about this if I'm a reverend? Because if we can't talk about issues like sexuality and sexual orientation as sanctified church people, then what can we talk about? I always, actually, I didn't always say it, but one of my mentors used to tell me if we can't talk about anything and everything in the church, where can we talk about it? Because not only are we spiritual folks, we are also sexual folks. And these are issues that are impacting our community. So the more that we learn about certain issues, the less, I believe, the less opportunity for hate and misunderstanding that we will have in our community. So I'm gonna I'm gonna talk about this for a few days. I'm gonna break it down into little sessions. This first one is definitely looking at homosexuality 101, and we're gonna talk about sexual orientation. Now, before we get started with sexual orientation, if you support what we're doing here, I'm just living up to the name and living up to the mission that God's called me on, because spirituality there's a wholeness, and there's a wholeness to it. But if you support what we're doing here, there's the Cash App here. You can drop it, and you can, yeah, you if your soul seems fit to do that. If finances are funny, honey, just drop some kind words for us and support. All right, so let's go. All right, many times when people talk about homosexuality, they get sexual behavior confused with sexual orientation. And so, not this time, but next time, we're going to talk about the difference between sexual orientation and sexual behavior. Sexual orientation is the romantic, sexual, and emotional attraction to the opposite, both sexes or no sexes, right? It is tied to intimate relationships, and it's essential for some people, an essential part of their identity, for some people. For others, it's just one part of who they are. And I've always been fascinated how a small part of who we are can cause people to be so angry and disrespectful and homophobic. That's why I got the name Rainbow Rev. Someone gave that to me as a way of embarrassment, because how could a straight minister support gay people? And so I took that banner, and we're going to use it for good, right? So, sexual orientation again is emotional, romantic, and sexual attraction. All right. And it again, society tells us if you are a boy, you should be interested in girls. If you are a girl, you should be interested in boys. But at an early age, we start to figure out, well, I don't feel that way towards the opposite sex, or I feel this way towards the opposite sex. See, that's there it is. And even though there it is, it's still complicated for many of us. And really, what we're learning about sexual orientation is that it's a spectrum. There's some people that go in and out of different sexual orientations, bi, or or hetero, or and it's about the person, right? It's an individual thing, and we're learning that. And when I say we learning that, you know, although I am a reverend, licensed and ordained, I'm also a professional social worker, and I kind of combine both hats. And my mission, my road, my level, my lane has been learning more about sexual orientation, taboos, sexuality, and the Black community. And so I've done years of research and speaking and teaching and just listening, right? And also praying, of course, that will come first. Um, but when we look at sexual orientation, again, sexual orientation does not always determine sexual behavior. And again, I will focus more on that. And one of the big questions that many have is, where does it come from? What's the cause of sexual orientation? And the research is still growing. The research is still out there. But what we do know is that sexual orientation is innate, meaning it's not something that we pick up on. It's not something that we can be taught. It's something already ingrained in us. And it could be a combination of both environmental and emotional, as well as hormonal or even biological factors. So again, there's much that we are learning about sexual orientation, but again, we know that it's neither chosen nor is it changed. And I'll talk more about if it can be changed or not next time. But right now, we're just talking about, and just to save you a little bit, it cannot be changed. But again, it goes back to that spectrum, sexual orientation as a spectrum. But again, the cause, it is not caused by how you raise your kids. It is not caused by sexual abuse. It is not caused by a lack of father or a mother. Now, behavior could be influenced by that, but not sexual orientation, which is a whole different thing. Because there are many people who are emotionally, sexually, and romantically attracted to the same sex, but they may engage in sexual activities with the opposite sex for pay or just because they want to, not because that's who they are emotionally or the gender they're emotionally and sexually, romantically attracted to. But the cause again, see, when we have this myth that sexual orientation is caused, that someone can be gay or lesbian based on how they are raised, that's a stigma. And you start having groups like, I forgot the guy's name, but it was the straight Black Pride movement. And they're saying, well, we're going to make sure that we, only have our kids watch this or do that. But let me tell you something, mom and dad. There is no gay proofing or lesbian proofing your household. What you will do is, if your child has anything but straight, you will start to alienate that child. Research shows that when children or youth or LGBTQ plus youth, when they are accepted and loved, they become successful. And we have to embrace that. That's why it's so important to have these talks of ours, right? We want to create strong Black communities. And the way that you do it is have strong communication, strong education, right? So I thank you for listening. I thank you for watching. Again, there's the Cash App right there if you want to support what we do. And until next time, you have a blessed day, a blessed week, a blessed month, whatever you need to get by and is healthy, do it.